Hello, in this video we'll be covering some commands in the shell. So my previous video was an introduction to basic shell commands, where we learned how to do basic things like list files, print the working directory, change through different folders, and basic principles like that. This video will be building on those concepts and taking it a little bit further and doing some extra commands. So to start, next we will look at deleting files. So I've created a few files here, and I don't want to clog up my machine with lots of sort of test or dummy files. So to delete them, I use the remove command, rm, and similar to the others, it's remove and then the file name. So to delete hello.txt, remove hello.txt. And now if I run ls, you will see hello.txt has disappeared. Something to point out here, these files do not go to the recycle bin or the trash. So before you delete something, make sure you really do want to delete it, because you won't be able to recover it. I'll also delete world.txt. So next we will look at removing a folder. So let's use the remove command as before. We'll do remove and folder name, but you get an error. So the remove command only works for files. You can't use it for folders or directories. To delete a directory, there's a separate command, which is remove directory, and as you may have guessed, the folder name. So remove directory test, check it's there, and test is now deleted. Next command we will look at is reading text files or reading files. So I'm sure everyone's used to reading text files from, say, Notepad or Microsoft Word, any sort of text editor. You can actually read things from your terminal. Now you won't get a very pretty display, but you can still see what's in the file, and if you just want quick access, that can be enough. So to use this, we use cat and file name. So if I look at cat example.txt, it says hello world. So example.txt is a file that contains the line hello world. Next, we will look at copying files. So if I want to duplicate example.txt, I can use cp, short for copy. So copy takes two parameters. So the first parameter is the file you wish to copy, and the second is the name for the new file. So for example, if I want to copy example.txt, I'll do that, and then space, and the name of the file that will be an exact copy of example.txt. So I will call it copy.txt. Now if I run ls, you'll see on top of my previous files, I also have this new file called copy.txt. Now if I read that file using the cat command, read copy.txt, you can see it's the exact same as example.txt up here. So it's literally the same as doing Command C or Control C and Command V, Control V, copy and paste. It's exactly the same as copying a file. Next, we will look at renaming files. So when a file has a name, that's where your computer looks to for that file. So my computer knows to look at example.txt for the contents of example.txt, if that makes sense. It's kind of obvious. It knows example.txt is located at example.txt. It knows that. So with the renaming command, what you're really doing is not renaming it, not renaming the file or folder, you're moving its location on your computer. So your computer, instead of looking at the old location of example.txt, will look instead to a new location, example renamed.txt. So it's looking in this new location for the same file. It's sort of confusing, but also sort of obvious. I'll do an example, and hopefully that will make it a bit more clear what it is it's doing. So the command we use for renaming is mv, short for move, and similar to copy, it takes two parameters: the file or folder you want to rename, and the new name for the file. So this will take example.txt and it will rename it to newname.txt. We can check this with ls, and you can see example.txt is gone, and in its place we have newname.txt. So this means if your computer now wants to load the contents of example.txt, it no longer looks for a file called example.txt. It's looking for a file called newname.txt. So in effect, it has moved the location of that file on your computer. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, don't worry. The only reason I've explained it is to try and not confuse you as to why we're using mv for renaming. But if it's too confusing, just forget about it and just think mv renames files and folders. And that's it for this video. I covered a lot of content in this video, so I'd be very surprised if anybody was able to follow this all the way through. It's just I didn't want to break this up into lots of small videos. So please pause and rewind as you need to, and get really comfortable using the commands, testing them out yourself. Try each of them out a few times, different names, different parameters, see how they work, see how you can break them, passing incorrect values, just so you get a feel of how they work and you really do fully appreciate what it is each command is expecting from you, and also what you get from each command. Hopefully this video has been useful and helped you understand some of these basic commands. And once you feel you're comfortable with these, or the majority of these, please feel free to move on to the next video, which will cover some more advanced commands.